So I've done some work with Marvina, with some of the young people in Carr Manor. So it's great to be in a different high school and work with you on the topic of representation and Black Boy Joy. So I go by the name of Graft, and I am a music artist and public speaker. Like it says on there, have any of you come across BBC Three's The Rap Game UK before? Never heard of it. Have you heard of Crept and Conan before? Cool, so I'll give you a bit of context about the show. It's a competition on BBC Three where thousands of artists from the UK apply to go onto this show, and the winner gets a record deal with a major label. And out of thousands of artists, they select 6 from the UK, and I was one of the 6. And this was 4 years ago. And there's different challenges where you have to clash another artist. You have to write songs in like 24 hours and then perform them in front of these massive celebrities with hundreds of cameras in front of you. And I was fortunate enough to actually win that show. And that whole show changed my life. And it's brought me into different avenues where I'm able to speak and share my story with young people like yourselves. A bit more context about some of the things that I've done within my music career. Like I said, I've won the Rap Game UK in 2020. I'm also a MOBO Award winner as well, and a few more other awards from local companies within Yorkshire too. So Miss was speaking about how she wanted to show you a music video that I created recently. And just to give you a bit more context on that, when I was in your position in school, I felt quite alone and misunderstood. And I never really felt like I had people to express my emotions to. And that was one of the reasons why I actually went into music, to be able to express myself creatively and get things off my chest and just alleviate any stress or tension that I was feeling. So when it came to me creating this song a couple of years ago, I put myself in the position where I wanted to speak to my younger self and let my younger self know that I'm supported and that I'm not alone. So with this song, it's essentially me speaking to myself in the same year as you guys now. And it's a song coming up on my new EP, which is out next month as well. So it's called Same You As You. So back into my journey, I grew up in an area called Chapeltown, which some of you may know. And growing up in that area, it really defined me as a person. And I'd say some of the biggest blessings about growing up in that area was I was around people like us, that looked like us, and it was a very diverse community. And that was some of my introductions to a lot of things, very positive things, but a lot of negative things as well. Some of the positive things I would say is like being able to be around a good bunch of people that we supported each other in our careers, whether that be music or football. And then some of the more negative and difficult things was being around drugs, violence, and gangs, and which I'm assuming some of you growing up, you may have experienced yourselves as well. School life, I went to a primary school called St. Matthew's in Chapel Allerton. And I'll be real with you, in school, in primary anyway, I just wanted to have fun. I never really listened to teachers that much. I just wanted to play football, run around in the playground, and just have a laugh. So that's what it was like for me from like in primary school. But then going into high school, I went to Carr Manor Community School, which isn't too far from here. And that's where my whole perception on life really changed, because high school is really important. And I know it can be boring and it's, you know, it's not jokes all the time, but like, it's a moment in your life where you're only there once. And I had to get my head wrapped around that around like year 8 or 9, so that I could get my grades, and whatever I did after, I wouldn't have to worry about my education as such. So year 7 to 9, I was a bit of a nuisance, just had fun, just wanted to be around my boys and play football and look gyal as well. But year 9 onwards, I buckled down, went to all my revision classes, and just got all of my grades, A star to C. And I wasn't the brightest person in school, but one thing that I did have which separated me from the rest was I had a hard work ethic. I was consistent, I was determined, and I made sure that I got my grades because it helps you later on in your life. Also, during school, in year 9, I got signed for a football club called Bradford City. Any of you guys know Bradford? So I signed for Bradford City at under 14s level, and that was my first professional club that I got signed for. Great experience, but I was going through a difficult time then where I was getting a lot of injuries. So I was like playing and then I get injured. So it was quite inconsistent. So it made things difficult for me mentally as well, because in year 9 and you just want to play football, and imagine every time you train or you play, you then get injured and then you're out for months. So that took a lot of strain on me mentally and emotionally. After that, I got released by Bradford due to my injuries, and that set me back. But I really believed in myself, and I felt like the teachers in school, they were really supportive of me as well. So I then got signed for Leeds United around year 10, year 11, and I signed a 2-year scholarship with Leeds. And I will say that was the best experience that I've had in my life, just down to the fact of how professional it was, the people that I met, the environment, and being able to play football and get paid at the age of 16. I thought that was a big blessing, and not many people get to experience that. With my time at Leeds, I was playing reserves football. I was the captain of the under-16s, and it was such a great time in my life because I learned so much about what it took to be a professional footballer, but also how it developed me as a person, from being motivated, disciplined, waking up early, my diet, just all of these little things that helped me stay focused and not fall back into certain traps that I was exposed to growing up in an environment like Chapeltown. After my time at Leeds United, I then got signed for a team called Rotherham United that was in the Championship, and I was training with the first team. I was playing reserves football and things were going really well, and I really thought that I was going to break in to the first team. That's what I was being told by the coaches. But how football can go and how life can go, you think things are going really well, and then things take a turn for the worse. And unfortunately, I never got signed. I never signed a professional contract, but that's when my music career really started to skyrocket. And that leads me into the last point that I was gonna go into. So with music, I started writing music when I was 13. And I used to write poems and things about the world that I didn't like. It was a way for me to express myself. Do any of you write lyrics or poems or songs? You write, yeah? How long have you been writing for, bro?
2 years.
2 years. And what kind of stuff do you write about at the moment?
Freestyles.
Freestyles. About your life?
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Mostly. I like that, man. That's exactly how I started in getting into music. Just writing about my life, family, and my aspirations as well. So I started writing at 14 about those kind of topics. And then it just progressed from writing freestyles into full songs. And that's when I was starting to juggle both careers, when that was football and music. So I was passionate about both, but for years, football was my main priority. So I remember years ago, people used to ask me, oh, Graft, what do you want to do? Is it football or music? And back then, I always used to say football. But it's funny how life works out. So music started as a hobby and a way to release stress. But my time at all the football clubs, the staff were really supportive of my career. I remember before games, we used to play my music to get us hyped up. After games, when we won, we'd play my music. And like Christmas parties, they'd get me to perform. And it was just such a good vibe. But as both of my careers were excelling, it did come to a point where I had to choose one. And after years of deliberation, thinking, what am I going to do? What's best for me? Like I mentioned, not signing my professional contract at Rotherham, that gave me like a window to really just put more of my focus into music. And that's exactly what I did. And it's brought me to a point where I've been doing music full time for 4.5 years. I've performed at Reading and Leeds Festival, been on advertisements with Virgin Media, worked with Leeds United as a musician and not just a footballer. I've collaborated with brands like Adidas, MTV, Reebok, Nike, and it's took me around the world just through my passion and love for music. I just wanted to leave the presentation on asking you a question of what success means to you. And the reason why I wanted to end on that question is, to me, success means generational wealth, longevity, being able to travel the world, look after my mum, look after my friends. And I feel like there's so many different careers and pathways where we can be successful. And it's not just through music or sport or other things that we might see all the time in the media, but there's so many different pathways for us as young black men to explore, which a lot of the other talkers today will get into. So I just wanted to leave that last question with you for you to think about, what does success mean to you and how does that look to you as well going forward in your life? Yes, bro. Money. What would you do with money? On what?
I would invest in a football team. I would invest in a basketball team, like in like New York Knicks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would pay the government to make football pitches.
You pay the government
Yeah.
to make
Inshallah,
more football
inshallah.
pitches. You got big plans, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Got big.
Who do you look up to? Like, yeah, who do you look up to? Who's your idol, if you have one?
Within music or just generally in
general.
life? In general.
Yeah.
I look up to my mum. That's one person that I look up to. And the reason why I look up to her is because she's managed to be successful and create a good life for herself just through sheer hard work and belief. And she's a big inspiration behind my name, Graft, and everything that I do, because I want to be able to repay her for the things that she's done for me and to bless her with a life that I feel like she deserves. So my mum's a big inspiration for me. You had a question, bro. Or you had something to say.
Well, I think success is like creating a family and being comfortable. So like having enough money to like get you through life, and but not having enough to be like so famous that you don't have pride. So that's what I think success is.
I like that.
Amazing answer, innit? My question, and I have put it on the board, is we spoke a bit about school, and I just wondered what your advice would be for young boys today struggling in school, maybe sometimes getting it not exactly right.
My advice to you all is to take your time in school seriously, but to enjoy it and to have fun. And why I say that is because your time in high school will just go like that. And if you don't make the most of it, you'll look back on it and regret certain aspects. So although I had so much fun and at times I wasn't the best pupil because I wasn't taking it seriously at times, making sure I got my grades was the best decision that I made to set me up into the next phase of my life, because it's helped me with getting jobs. It's helped me with my communication skills, which is important just day to day, or when you're trying to get into certain careers. It's helped me with my own self-confidence, and it's just played a part in different aspects of my life. So I feel like it's important to try your best in getting all the grades that you can, because it's going to benefit you when you're looking to get a career outside of school? Say that again, my bro.
How will someone achieve that dream when it does not seem possible?
How have I achieved my dream when it
Like
doesn't?
somebody.
How does someone
Yeah.
achieve a dream when it doesn't seem possible? I think a lot of things that play a part in that is self-belief, knowing that you can achieve, coming out of your environment, which is, I think, very important, because when you have a dream and you stay within the environment that you've grown up in, a lot of people are very small-minded. They can't see beyond that environment. So I think in order to achieve a dream, you have to come out of your environment and surround yourself around more like-minded people, so that keeps you motivated and inspired. So self-belief, motivation, and inspiration and work ethic helps people achieve their dreams, although the odds are stacked against them.
Another round of applause.
Good question.